How's it going, guys? Another video again today. Just touching up, filling up some gas here. Today, I am going to be riding this Harley through Lakeland, Florida. And you might be wondering, hey, that's not a beach. You always ride through beaches. This is the one town in Florida that I would like to show you because I have some history here, because it's actually the town that I went to college in and met my wife at. Thought I'd go ahead and showcase a little bit of that to you today and show you some sights from a town that I really enjoyed living in. About a decade ago, I lived there from 2008 to 2010 when I graduated in December. And I'm looking forward to showing you what that town's all about. Then I'm going to be meeting up with a friend who also owns an Iron 883. And if you hadn't noticed already, new seat here, Mustang. This is the wide touring solo seat. As you can see, it's got a really nice lip here for lower back support. It's really wide and it's firm, and it's just a huge improvement from the stock seat. This is going to totally change my ability to ride long distances. Yeah, but go ahead and show you. Also got new La Rosa genuine leather sissy bar bag, and of course the DK Customs Outlaw 425 air cleaner. And I've got those tuners on, but check out how these tuners have to be mounted. Look at that. I've got to run this ground wire all the way up to a bolt up here, and I had to like wrap this in electrical tape because the connectors are all right here and there's nowhere to put them. So I'm not gonna like shove them up in the motor. So it's sort of just like dangling here, and like water and stuff and debris will kick up from the road and hit this. So not entirely enjoying how that's gonna work long term. So I might be saving up to get a Vance & Hines fuel pack stored in here instead, and remove these at some point. But for now, at least, this is allowing me to have the right air fuel mixture to be able to run that stage 1 air cleaner. But all right, let's go ahead and get on the road. It's always fun. I'll go ahead and drop this down a little bit. Love this windshield for that reason. It's so cool. Filling up with a lot of stickers here too. So again, if you're a motovlogger and you want to send me a sticker to put on this windshield, direct message me on Instagram, beachbiker_. That's my handle on Instagram. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right, so right now I'm actually at the I-95 exit for Vero Beach, and the road I'm getting onto, that's 95 down there. The road I'm getting onto here is State Road 60. It runs from Vero Beach on the ocean all the way to Clearwater Beach. Woo! Man, that stage one system is a lot peppier. Especially with the Iron 883's gearing, man. Woo! It really flies off of a standstill. Yeah, so this road right here is State Road 60, and it runs from Vero Beach all the way to Clearwater Beach, coast to coast. This is the route I used to take all the time going from Lakeland, because Lakeland is almost directly off this road, more towards Tampa. And Route 60 actually runs directly through Tampa and into Clearwater, and it bypasses Lakeland, Florida, which is where I'm taking you today. And what's cool about this road is it progressively gets smaller down to the point where it's just a 2-lane road going in each direction. And all along the sides of this road, I mean, it is super flat, as you can see, super flat. And on both sides, starting about right here, is orange groves. And you don't know what that is. If you drink like Florida's natural orange juice or any other of the brands of orange juice that use oranges from the United States, they come from right here. Like these fields and these trees, these rows of trees right here, those are orange groves. And when it's really in season, you can smell the citrus in the air all along this road. Obviously on a bike like this, you can really smell the oranges and the citrus all in the air, and it just was a giant reminder that you're in Florida. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and ride for a little bit and focus on riding, and I will check back in with you when we get closer to Lakeland. I'll see you there. Alright, I am finally arriving in Lakeland. I'm on the outskirts of town right now. First stop I'm going to make to show you guys is the apartment where my wife lived during the last year of college. Oh man, memories. Lake Bentley Shores condominiums. Oh man, I have not been here in so long. Wow, they have not changed at all. A9, right here. She lived in A9. Walk through the store, first apartment on the left, through that window right there. Incredible. Our pup that we have now, our little dog, she got it when she lived in this apartment. Man, so many memories. Actually, she used to park out here in this spot, and I forget how we found out, but there was some guy that was somewhat stalking her from out here. He was like leaving messages or something. I can't remember how it worked, but I remember it got to the point where it was kind of scary. And one night when I was leaving her apartment to go back to the dorms where I lived, I stood here in the dark, and I stood by her car, and I yelled out because I didn't know if this creep that was stalking her was around, and I pretty much yelled out to him that if he tried anything that I would basically tear him up. I was a 21-year-old idiot, and all that does is instigate the guy, of course. And of course he must have been listening, hiding behind this wall or something. He heard me, because the next morning my wife came out to go to work and her tires were slashed and she couldn't go to work, and she was genuinely scared. And we never really met the guy or figured out who he was, but after that she decided to move back to Vero, and that's how she ended up back there, and I ended up having to do that State Road 60 commute back and forth all the time to go see her, because she wanted to get out of town after that happened, especially since we weren't planning on living in Lakeland after I graduated, 1 year after she had graduated. So that's why she moved back to Lakeland, and we got her out of town where she could be safe. And fortunately we never heard from that guy again, but yeah, it's a pretty scary story. So all positive memories here until that last one. But yeah, interesting little tidbit. See you later, A9. Alright, now I'm gonna take you back to school. Okay, I'm just outside of where my school was located, up around here. This little shopping center here, this Circle K gas station. There's a McDonald's back there that I was at. Like, I got gas here all the time, and there was a Publix in here that I would go get groceries at. Oh man, old stomping grounds, Lakeland, Florida. You know, funny story, the reason it's called Lakeland, Florida is because there's so many lakes. Like, if you look at Google Maps and check out an overhead view of this town, there's hundreds of lakes. Like, it's ridiculous. So Lakeland is a literal name, and whenever you see those stories going around on Facebook and whatnot of, like, you know, local man takes picture of a 30-foot alligator that's prehistoric in size, that's always in Lakeland. Like, literally every single one of those. Like, the biggest gators in Florida must all live in Lakeland, because gators love lakes. Like, that's where they live. They don't live in the ocean, they live in lakes. So lots of frequent bodies of water around town, that's a breeding ground for gators. So who knows, maybe we'll see one today. I have seen them trying to cross roads before, so that would be interesting. Oh man, I used to ride up this road in my car, in my Camaro, heading back to school after a long summer break away from friends and my girlfriend at the time, the wife now. Gosh, here it is. You probably haven't heard of this school because it's a tiny little school with only about 3,000 students, but it's Southeastern University. Awesome little private school, small classrooms, beautiful campus, beautiful palm trees. They have a football team now with football stadium. They didn't have that when I was there. This was all just a big grass lot. I stayed in these dorms right here. Destino, I think they were called, or Aventura, Destino, I can't remember what they were called. But here's the main entrance. Security here was always ridiculous, so hopefully they don't give me any problems about riding through campus. Usually during the day they don't care as much. But it has been a decade since I went to school here. Oh man, this is so weird. I lived on the 3rd floor of this building, a few units down. It was one of those windows up there. Back in, I lived in this building in 2009. So literally a decade ago. My goodness. Wow. I feel like an old fart here now. Oh man. Still got parking problems, that's for sure. It was always a pain in the butt trying to find parking here. Definitely got a lot of students here now. Good old Southeastern University. Speed bumps every 2 feet. Ugh. Head down this way first. It's not that big of a campus compared to most colleges, which was nice because you could get around on foot pretty easily without having to take any sort of like school transportation or anything. I lived in this building right here, as I said before. I'd come out of here and just walk down here. There was a pool that we could use. There was a gym. This is actually where I first started to lift weights and work out, because even though I grew up playing hockey, I always focused on calisthenics and endurance-based workouts and whatnot, and I never really focused on upper body strength that much until I got to college and started doing it recreationally. And this is where I started to really improve my strength and lift weights with intention of getting bigger. Right there in that gym right there. Tiny little gym. Funny story too, when I first started dating my wife, we were both trying to impress each other, and we went to work out together in here. And I was trying a little too hard to impress her. I was doing those over the head shoulder tricep extensions with a 65-pound dumbbell, and my max had been like at 50 to 55 at the time, so I was trying to impress her. And when I finished my set, I go down to put the weight down and I drop it, and it bounces off the floor up into the glass behind the weight rack, and it shatters the whole thing, like spiderweb shatter the whole thing. And I look back and she's gone, like she has booked it out of the gym, because she doesn't want anybody to see her with me. Oh man, that was a funny time. We met up afterwards and laughed about it, but oh, things a young guy will do to try to impress a girl, and now we look back and laugh. Anyways, coming up here on the right up here, that building right here, top unit on the right, that's where my wife lived for the first year we were together here at school. We used to sit on that stoop together and talk for hours. Man, there's a lot of kids here. Man, they all look so young now, jeez. Could get out of the road. Goodness gracious. And clearly some of them still have their head in the clouds. All right. My first year of college here, and my final semester of college, since I graduated a semester early. and I only had the fall semester as a senior year, I lived in this building right here. Bower Hall, right here. Boys only dorm. Lots of interesting things happening there. Good old Bower Hall. A lot of fun times. Hey, look at that, Sportster. Let's check that out for a second. Someone's riding a Sportster. That's nice. But now, yeah, when I lived here, especially that last semester in here, I really spent a lot of time focusing on growing my photography skills and my video skills. I had taken a few classes and whatnot throughout college on it, but I really focused on growing my portfolio and really experimenting during the final semester, which is what led to me becoming a wedding photographer shortly after graduating. Once we finish doing a little ride through tour of the school, I'll hop off the bike and go show you a few things within the campus. Man, I just scraped the bottom of my bike. Stupid. All right, man. That was an iron. Ah, look at this lake. Attention, alligators. Oh man, this is why it's Lakeland, Florida. Tons of these things. They're beautiful though. Gosh, this building was not here when I was going to school. They've really poured a lot of money into this. Lake Hollingsworth, I think, or no, Lake Holloway. That's Lake Holloway. Every lake has a name too. But that was Lake Holloway. I took a photo of that when I was in college, and I used it as my desktop background for a long time on my computer. Alright, I'm on campus now of Southeastern University, and quite a bit has changed since I went to school here. But I wanted to tell you a quick story real quick, because this pathway that's up here, it's called El Prado, and one of the jokes that was ongoing here, because this was a Christian school, is that if you came here and you were a girl, you would get a ring by spring, guarantee. And actually it happened quite a bit, which is kind of funny. But my wife and I waited a year before we did the ring. But it's still a pretty funny story that actually has some truth behind it, because everybody gets engaged here. You know, Christian college, a bunch of kids, teenagers turning into adults. That's bound to happen. So, funny little backstory. That is a blast from the past. What is funny though is that this place back here was called Mikasa Cafe back in the day. It's where my wife worked back when we first started dating, and it's kind of funny now that she's a Chick-fil-A owner, because it's now been transformed into a Chick-fil-A, which is that's too small of a world there. But yeah, just wanted to go ahead and show you guys where we first met. I used to do all my homework in the cafe there while she was working. Looking over and checking her out while she was working, and getting my projects done and all that. Working on photos for my portfolio and everything, and it was a good time. Yeah, memory lane. It's always fun to go back down it. Look at this guy.
What's going on?
Dave Lapham. This guy is what got
campus.
me into motorcycling when he had a scooter.
Oh.
He got me into it. I had to get one once he had one.
It's a lot of credit.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk with him for a bit and just say hi, but yeah, I'll check in later. All right. Back on the bike. Heading out of here. Going to leave school now. It's good catching up with old friends. That guy I just showed you, Dave, we were roommates in my final semester of college. We both ended up becoming wedding photographers. Then he finally got out of that and he works at the school now. He does stuff with their website and like the infrastructure of how they onload new students and stuff. It's from the technical side of things. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool that he works there now. Always gives me an excuse to come back to school, check it out. He just gave me like a grand tour of like all the new stuff they're doing. It's amazing what this school's doing for being such a tiny school. You should check it out. SEU, Southeastern University. If you want to come live at a beautiful Florida school that's by the beach, about 40 minutes from the west coast of Florida, you should check it out. Makes those wintertime study sessions a lot easier. Speed bumps, man. This lake, its name is Lake Bonnie. When towards the end of the time I was here, wow, they're redoing that building. Ton of remodels here. Towards the end of the time I was here, for whatever reason, this lake had drained to where it was almost completely gone, and it's back to being a full, healthy lake now. Probably full of alligators too. Man, these are some nice twisties through here. It's crazy, all the students at school now just seem like a bunch of high school kids and like middle school kids to me. It's crazy how that perception of stage of life does that to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and head out through another part of Lakeland, show you a little more of my stomping grounds on my way to meet up with my friend Rob. His name is Rob Johns. He's the one who has the Iron 883 like me. Same year, same style. He's got a different set of exhaust and different handlebars, but he has the same seat that I have. And when I test rode his bike at Daytona, he actually came to Daytona Bike Week. He was the other friend I was supposed to meet up with, and I didn't end up having time to film anything with him, so that's why we're going to do it today. But yeah, he had this Mustang wide touring solo seat on his bike, and we swapped bikes, and oh my god, I was like, this is a huge improvement from the stock seat. So I was sold at that point, and I knew I needed to save up and buy the seat. And thanks to GetLoweredCycles.com, they were willing to partner with me to help get me a good discount on the seat. And I'm going to be doing a full review of this seat for Get Lowered coming soon, probably next week. I got a lot of episodes backed up right now that I'm trying to pump out. So yeah, all right, let's head on through the rest of Lakeland. I am now in downtown Lakeland, just parked my bike, and I'm going to be looking for my friend Rob to meet up and have some coffee and chat about Sportsters. And of course, we'll do a cool cinematic B-roll sequence of his bike too.
my friend Rob. I convinced him to buy a Sportster. He had been trolling me for a while, asking all kinds of questions online about what bike to get. And naturally, I suggested the Sportster. Yep. And tell him what kind of Sportster you got.
I got an Iron 883. It's pretty much identical to Beach Bikers.
The same year and everything.
Which, found by random chance too. Got a really great deal on it. My first upgrade was my cell phone holder. It's highly ingenuity done on it. It's zip tied, looks great. It's about $1.69 on eBay. So, you know, I'm all about modifications.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. Well, and he changed the seat out. And honestly, during Bike Week, we didn't end up filming anything, even though I said we were going to in that video. But during Bike Week, he let me ride his bike with the seat on it, and it transformed my perception of what a Sportster could be like. And now I obviously have the same seat.
Well, let's not forget, you're like, hey, let's trade bikes, and you left me on your bike, you know, with that crappy seat for a long time. But I was digging the handlebars, so.
That's true. That's the next thing. Basically, we're gonna have the exact same bike within a year.
My exhaust is a little different, my intake's a little different, but yeah, that's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, he basically convinced me to get it. I come from the super sport world, believe it or not. I'm 6'5", but I did ride ZX6R, super sport, super fast. I've also been on BMW Enduros. So I come from more of a super sport world. I've always looked at Harleys like, oh, big bagger, old man bike. But then I saw Beach Bikers, and I'm like, man, looks pretty sick, and wasn't sure, so just kind of went to college together. Just, hey man, tell me about your bike. Tell me, you know, what's good about it. Because I'm used to speed, I'm used to nimble, in and out of traffic, and he's like, dude, my bike's smaller, it's very nimble, it looks awesome, it's got the power of a Harley. I remember one specific thing, you said how well built it was, because super sports are Jap bikes, they're all plastic. And you were telling me how the bolts and everything is just like American made, like hard, good, high quality stuff. So I started looking into it, and I'm like, you know, maybe I should give Harley a shot. I'm a dad now. When I had a super...
It's the dad bike for sure.
When I had a super sport, you know, you're going to 100, $120 everywhere you go. And you can't do that on a Harley. But what I've noticed about the Iron and that I love is that it is still very nimble. It'll get up and go in traffic. I'm sure, you know, as beach bikers told you, it's not much of a highway bike. I don't really live on a highway. It could still do it. Like I drove all the way to Bike Week, no problem. But I love it. Like coming from a fast super sport to this Iron, completely different style, completely different bikes, but it's a lot of fun. Upgrading the seat, you gotta do it. He could tell you, like he had his stock seat and he wasn't sure about the Mustang seat. I'm like, dude, I'm 6'5", I'm gonna get the biggest seat I can buy. And
the biggest, most padded seat.
Yes, the biggest, most padded seat that is made. And honestly, there's not a lot of reviews on. It's a Mustang Vintage Wide Solo. There's not a lot of reviews on it. The original seat I had was a bare bones, a La Para bare bones.
Yeah.
It looked awesome. Looked amazing.
It's a bicycle seat, basically.
But it sucked. So I found this Mustang Vintage Solo, and total life changer. You can ride all day on it. There's really like not any video reviews or any good ones. You have the guy with the shaky camera talking about it, but there's no like good reviews on it. But you know,
stay tuned.
To give a shout out, you know, to Mustang on it, like well built seat, totally comfortable, can ride it all day. But yeah, I'm really glad I did go with the Sportster, an Iron 883. They look cool. When you upgrade the exhaust and the intake, they sound cool. Their performance is awesome. They're not a girl bike. Okay, I'm the furthest thing from a female. I'm 6'5". Like, I'm a big guy. I look intimidating. I have tattoos. Like, it's not a girl bike.
Right.
You know.
Well, you can attest. You can agree with me. We're both big guys.
Yeah.
The ergonomics of the bike are not a problem if you put forward controls in.
Right. Ergonomics are a problem if you're tall and don't use forward controls, but the forward controls is like you're just chilling on it. Like it's comfortable.
Yeah. Sure.
And I come from a super sport, so
yeah. This is still
the most cramped thing ever. But you know, I can't give a better review on it. Like, great bike, well built, and the price. Like, you're looking at Harleys from a dealership, like the bagger ones, the big ones, like they're 40K, 20K. Like, I got mine. Mine was about, I got a really good deal. It was supposed to be probably about 85, 9. I got it for like 6. So, great deal. It was garage kept, 3,000 miles, no rust. Like, yeah, I know.
With all the mods.
Yeah, with all the mods. I remember telling Beach Biker about it, and he was kind of jealous.
Yeah,
of how nice it was, and I'm like, dude, you're the one that talked me into it. So.
I'm like, dang, I shouldn't have bought it. But cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad you shared your story, and you can attest to the fact that Sportster is a good bike for everyone.
Yeah, it really is. Totally is.
Cool, man.
And I don't have a channel to share, well, a motorcycle one, because I don't have one. He's also trying to convince me of this now, like, hey dude, you should do motovlogging, get a GoPro. Yep, so all I got is, I just have music, and it's nothing special. But if you want to follow, it's Rob Johns Music. So Rob, then Johns, Johns, Music. You can find my stuff on there, see if you like it. I know it's totally unrelated to motorcycles, but cool.
Somebody might. All right, man. Thanks.
All right.
Hey guys, I'm actually in downtown Lakeland now at Lake Mirror, where everybody goes to kiss their girlfriends back in college. And being a cheesy guy, I pretty much did that. I brought my girlfriend here. I guess she wasn't my girlfriend yet, but we came here under this archway and we sat right here and talked for a little bit. It was nighttime and one thing led to another and we ended up having our first kiss. And then 1 year later exactly, right here, I came and brought her here after dinner on our anniversary and proposed to her right there. This exact spot, and I know she's gonna appreciate me putting this in the video. But a fun story is that this thing back here behind these closed gates, this is actually like a shut down underground shopping mall. And my parents, back when they attended the same college we did, they used to shop in here and go in here. So it's really funny how my wife lived in the same dorms at Southeastern that my dad did when he lived there. And they were shopping in the place that her and I ended up having our first kiss and getting engaged. It's a really small world. Cool stuff. Hey, all right, I am heading out of Lakeland now. Had a good time with my friend Rob. Had some coffee, chatted about Sportsters a little bit, compared bikes and such. We basically have twin bikes, and he's planning on getting the same handlebars I have. But he's gonna get them in black at least. And we already have the same seat now, same year and make and model bike. And he's 6'5" and I'm 6'2". So, good chat. Got a lot out of him on camera, more than I thought he'd be willing to talk about, so that was pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. And you would think I'd be heading home now, but I am actually on my way to meet up with someone else. Someone that you guys might already know. He lives outside of Tampa, and I will see you when I get there. Let's do this. I don't know if you guys recognize where we are, but I'm sure you will in a second. Time to say hi to some shade tree weirdos.